Swim check 1, 2. Bike check 1, 2. Run check 1, 2. I think we're ready. Let's try this. Welcome to the Try Beginner's Luck podcast, a podcast where we explore the sport of triathlon from a variety of perspectives to help beginner triathletes on their journey. I am your host, Michanda Shines. Well. Welcome back to another edition of Try Beginner's Luck. This is like a little bonus edition because this is just Michanda talking to you, and we'll see where this goes. It's been on my heart to kind of quote unquote reintroduce myself and just to share my heart with you all on where we are in February 28th, 2023. Here we are. It's the last day of Black History Month, but tomorrow will be March 1st, which is the first day of Women's History. And here I lie in between both. I love it. I love this space that I get to take up. And over the past year and a half, you guys have allowed me to share my heart with you. And I am just really grateful. And I think last week we did this episode with Michael Smith, and I was just thoroughly, let me give him some respect, Michael Dream Chaser Smith, and was just completely encouraged by his story and how he has had to overcome so much in his life from an adverse situation, so much adversity he's had to overcome. And he's able to excel at a high level, and it's not easy when we are faced with challenges, and different challenges requires different, situations. And so I just wanted to come and just speak from gratitude and encourage you, because this season is about courage. And honestly, if I'm going to be completely transparent with y'all, this podcast almost didn't happen. It almost did not happen. And it was, I remember the situation, and I haven't really spoke about this publicly, but I got a call after planning to do just doing planning sessions. When my brother passed away, I was like literally breath taken from out of me. And so I got a call that my brother died by suicide. And it's shocking for me because I didn't anticipate that, but I also didn't really fully accept it either, just from things that had happened. And I had heard some things. And I actually told my dad, when my dad called me, I was like, hey, are you calling me about my brother? And is he dead or alive? Like, my dad was like, wait, what? And that was because I heard some other things or some things that went on, but I thought I was going like crazy. But I realize now that was the voice of God telling me some things and just kind of giving me some warnings. And so I was kind of prepared before it happened that day, but didn't really know because I didn't really believe it. And so I remember telling Maria, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this podcast. And she was like, oh, yes, you are. I said, no. I don't think I am. She was like, yes, you are. And we'll do it one step at a time. That has stuck with me. And even through my ups and downs over the last 2 years, one step at a time is what a lot of coaches tell their athletes. You do it one step at a time. You get through life one step at a time. You get through the race one step at a time. And I just want to encourage whoever is listening or who needs to hear this, who may be experiencing a hardship, who may feel like after the last 2 years, you don't think your life has purpose. And I just want to encourage you to let you know you do. You have a lot of purpose and a lot left to give. And you just got to tap into that. For me, I realized that the last 2 years I was given a gift to train for two Ironman, two Ironman races. And those Ironman races didn't turn out the way I would have hoped them to. And needless to say, it doesn't dictate who I am or justify if I should have a podcast or not. But what it did was it saved my life. And it saved me in a way that I got out of my own way so that I did not take up substance abuse as a way to heal and to deal. But I chose to exert my body and to challenge myself under high duress. Also, during that time period, I was reflecting one time when I looked at the video preview of the montage that we do at the opening for the YouTube page. And I looked at that and I said, man, almost in all of those, that first season is in someplace different. And that's because I was someplace different. Also, right after my brother passed away, when I came home from my flight, I walked into a home that smelled like it was just filled with mold. And that was because there was a flood that my at then time current landlords did not fix while I was away. And so I had to immediately book myself a hotel to stay there for a week, thinking they were going to fix it, and then they didn't. And I literally went from place to place. But I had already had these interviews booked, so I still had to do them, carrying, lugging, podcast equipment around with me, and it didn't stop me. And I said, "Wow, you still pushed on, even in the midst of, your adverse situation." And so a little bit in my mind, I just knew that I would finish Maryland. I just been through hell and back. There's no way I'm not. Well, clearly that wasn't the case. So cool. Fine. Whatever happened, the jellyfish, whatever. Move on. The next year, I said, okay, I want to go back after it again. I'm still working through my healing. I still need to do these things. And this time it's through in Cozumel. Beautiful, beautiful place. And I'm just like, I know this is the year. This gotta be it. Again, adversity struck. And at this point, you know, from it being extreme heat to running out of water, only having concentrate. I was already dehydrated before I started the run, but I pushed until my 18 and was like, I'm done, and went to the med tent. First time ever getting the IV. Very scary for me because I don't do needles, but it happened. Cool. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in the shower and just kind of crying and was like, wow, training for a race that was so long saved your life. And so we heard Michael talk about how triathlon saved his life. And to be honest, triathlon has been saving my life since 2014. One race after another, whether I was only able to do one race or not, I think about my journey, and my journey was that so that I could come and be able to share with you, not from an elite standpoint. We got enough people doing it from the elite standpoint, but just from an everyday person standpoint, age group athlete standpoint, who gets to showcase and share stories of other age groupers from all vantage points, from the elite to the presidents of organizations, to the timers of organizations, to announcers coming on this show. I want to share this sport with you from every aspect. And I want people to be able to come on knowing that they can see themselves in this sport. And we can't do that if we're only highlighting a particular group. We can't, because then no one will be able to identify with them. So I am choosing to share with you this sport from a holistic perspective, and to change the lens one story at a time, to change the landscape of this sport one story at a time. I hope when you're listening to this sport and when you see the pictures, you're able to see someone that looks like you, and you're able to resonate with someone that looks like you. It is my hope that you are inspired to try. And whether it's triathlon or not, you are inspired to try your dreams, whatever it is. Get out there and live life. You deserve it for you. I have been literally following my dreams since 2010, the moment that I moved to Washington, D.C. to start a apparel and goods company that lasted for 2 or 3 years. We switched courses to auditioning for QVC. Y'all, it took me 5 years to get on QVC. 5 years. And I think about, why do you think doing 1 or 2 Ironman, you're going to get it? No, Michanda, if it took you 5 years to get on QVC, timing is everything. And when I got on, I was able to immediately rise to a very, to all the top shows, because it was about timing. And so wherever you are in your journey, keep going. Don't forsake where you are. Doing this podcast is not easy. I often say, Dag, I want to do this. I want to get sponsors. I don't know where to start. Heck, I don't even know how to do a podcast, but I just took my time and Googled and did this. And so after a year, I guess this is a year going into our second year, I just wanted to celebrate my success. Because often when you are a creator and you're starting something, you're so hard on yourself. You're like, did I say that right? Did I do that right? Am I making impact? What am I doing? But what I can say is I've been consistent with this thing. And I haven't done it alone. I've had two amazing women who have been right here along the way. And I am so grateful. You guys hear me talk about them all the time. Uh, Sarah and Marie. That was silly. Sarah and Maria. But I am grateful that God sent those angels to me. And so we can't do life alone, and we need people. And I guess I'm signing up today to do life with each of you and to officially be your cheerleader in every aspect of the way. You know, whether I get to announce you across a finish line or get to cheer you on from this podcast. I want you to write in. Tell me about who you are, your story. Everybody belongs on this podcast, and everybody, if I can get to you, I want to tell your story, because we all have a story to tell. And we've all tried beginner's luck at one time or another. And so I want to reintroduce myself to those who know me and have heard this podcast, and to introduce myself to those who are hearing this for the very first time. I am Michanda Miles, also known as Michanda Shines. I am the host of the Try Beginner's Luck podcast. I am an endurance race announcer. I am an athlete. I'm a triathlete. But most importantly, I am your cheerleader here to encourage you to try new things, to get out of your own way, to get out of what's comfortable, and to push the envelope on things like diversity. This sport has to change if it's going to continue to grow. It can't be the same people dictating what the landscape will be. And so here I am. Wherever it takes me, I am here. And maybe I'm also doing this for accountability. So if you do see me in the streets, you can be like, hey, Michanda, did you do a podcast yet, in case I've slipped off, which I hope I won't. But I'm here to be accountable to you, because I understand the power of how this sport can impact a life. And let me just be very clear. There are many ways to enter the multi-sport world. If you can't swim, no problem. You can bike and run. And if you can't run, no problem. You can swim and bike. And if you can't run, literally can't run, you can walk. There's ways to walk. There's places to learn how to speed walk. They even have kayaking. If you can't swim, you can kayak in certain races. You can do relays. I just want to encourage you to get out and do something move your body, and to live life to its fullest. Now, as I transition into this next segment, triathlon can save lives, but I want us to be kind in doing that. I think a lot of times people aren't as kind as they should be, but kindness costs nothing. Speaking to someone costs nothing. And you never know who you are entertaining when you are in someone's presence. They could be the very person to change your life. So, kindness, it doesn't cost a thing, but it could cost you everything. Yeah, it could. It could. So, I say to each of you, I am very approachable. You can email me at tblpodbiz@trybeginnersluck.com. You can slide into our DMs either via social media or on my personal pages, see Michanda Try or at Michanda Shines. But we want to hear from you, and we want to hear the stories that you want to hear. Because I'm only one person, so I can't think of everything. Maria is only one person. She can't think of everything. Sarah. So we need you. What do you want to hear? What is it that you want to know? And also, I know I talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago. Um, and I'm random, I'm free flowing, I don't have no notes. So, if I'm repetitive, deal with it, write me later. Um, I really want to hit on representation and why it matters. Um, when you see yourself in something, it gives you the hope and the ability that you can too do it. And so, as a Black woman, and we're on this little cusp into Black History Month, Women's History Month coming up, I just feel like it's important that we represent and to have the that we represent and have representatives that look like us at races, in front offices, in podcasts. And so being able to highlight your stories will allow me to go the extra distance and do that. Because who knows, you could be um, the next Olympian. I don't know. But what I do know is that you have a story to say and a story to tell. And when I know for me, I get encouraged when I see someone that looks like me doing a sport. Ooh, okay. The other thing I want to just um, lightly share, and I think I mentioned about the landscape. And if we're thinking about this, the seeds that we plant are only as good as where we're watering them. Let's continue to plant good seeds, to plant seeds that look like different, that are not the same. Because if we have the same people, or how do I put this? If we have everything looking the same without making any changes, there will be no new growth. And I believe in new growth, new voices, new body sizes, body shapes. That's important. And I hope when people see me, whether people think I should be here or not, that when someone, even if it's just one person that sees it, because it's all about the power of one, that they are like, hey, she's out there trying and she might be 200 plus pounds, but she's doing it and she's healthy. We can do that too. Oh, wait a minute though. What about him? It might be a guy out there who, might be 6'8". That's a very tall triathlete, but you never know. Seeing someone at that height, man, I can do it too. I just really, really want to see this sport as the world is. We are very diverse, comes in very different various sizes, various shades, and various hues. And we can do that, but only if we continue to invite new people. So, moving on, do relays this year. Invite your friends into this sport. Invite new people to try with you. It takes nothing but an ask. We've heard so many people get their start with relays. It's an easy way to get them to taste just how sweet this beautiful sport is. Yeah. I really, really, really appreciate what I get an opportunity to do. And I love more than anything that I get to do that with each of you. To be able to be vulnerable, to be able to share my failures, which aren't really failures because failures are never final. To be vulnerable with you guys, to let you know that everything in my life isn't perfect, but it is peaceful, it is good, and I have my health, I have my life. Sometimes we have to look at the little things and just be grateful for them. And not to worry about the small beginnings or the beginnings that don't seem to have the best endings. Because it's not about where you start, it is about where you finish. And it's also about the dash in between. What are we going to do on our way to, quote unquote, the journey? What does that process look like for us? And how do we steward that well? So this is only the beginning for TBL. Got some things brewing for us. I'll give you a secret. May have community at the end of it. But we got some things brewing. And I just wanted to be able to come on and share a little bit about me, give you a little bit of a bonus because, you do get a full episode tomorrow. So just wanted to be able to share a little bit with you and just share my heart, because I think it's important that you know who is the voice behind the mic. And that voice be me, Michanda Miles, aka Michanda Shines. Be sure, y'all, follow us at Try Beginner's Luck on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. We're very active on Instagram, so follow us there. Give us feedback. Y'all, even if it's hard, I can take it. We can get some letters. Give us feedback. Let us know what you want. Please, like us, rate us on like Apple, iTunes, Spotify. Give us some ratings. Let us know how you're feeling. Of course, 5 stars always works. Nothing less, nothing more. 5 stars works. But most importantly, I want you to remember to try, because whenever you try beginner's luck, you always win. My name is Michanda Shines, and I'm out. Peace. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode. We need your help so we can continue to try at TBL. So for more information on where you can find and subscribe to this podcast, visit www.trybeginnersluck.com. And don't forget, whenever you try beginner's luck, you always win.